Now, ahead of International Women's Day on Friday, we're speaking with the leading figures from a variety of sports. I'm very pleased to say we're joined by one of the brightest British talents in motor racing, Alice Powell. Thank you for coming in. We caught up with you last year when you were competing in GP3 series. How did that go, and now what's in store for 2013?
Yes, that went very well. So for 2013, I'm trying to build on the success that I had in GP3 and continue trying to get to Formula 1.
Did you reach all your targets? Everything you set yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I was late joining the series. I competed all the races, but the testing, I didn't have the budget to do all the testing. So it was a last-minute deal, but, you know, we did as well as we could, and the team did a great job. And from there, we need to try and build on and do even better this year.
Are people surprised when they hear what you do and they ask what you do?
Yes, very surprising. Oh, do girls race with the boys? I'm like, yeah, girls do race with the boys. They are very surprised, yes.
And particularly, obviously, motorsport is known for being a very male-dominated sport. Do you think, though, attitudes are changing as more women now enter the sport?
Yeah, and I think, you know, with Susie Wolff now making a big name in Williams, I think it is really good for females. And also, we can't forget the success that Danica Patrick's having in the US at the moment. And I think her pole was great for females in the sport. You know, it even got to the news on national news over here that she was doing so well. And I think that put more of a light on females coming into the sport. And reading some of the recent papers and speaking to people, they say, well, you know, I didn't know that females could actually race against the males, and now I'm actually going to take an interest in the sport.
Quite right. Now, you've made it clear that your goal is to reach Formula One. Why do you think, though, at the moment, there are no women drivers at the highest level?
I think because it's seen as a male-dominated sport, that females just don't take the interest into trying to get into the sport. I think it needs a female to get into Formula One, actually racing, for younger females to have a role model. You know, the male drivers coming up have got Lewis Hamilton and Jenson Button to aspire to be, but the females coming in have got no one to aspire to be or aim to be. And I think if, you know, like myself or Susie got to race in Formula One for a season, even for a few races, you know, it will show that it is possible for females to race.
And there are females actually not just racing at a lower level, but behind the scenes as well, like us at Sky. Behind here, plenty of women doing the high-profile jobs. Within Formula One as well, Manisha Kaltenborg, the team principal to Sauber. How much of a step forward do you think that is, that behind the scenes there are these women?
A huge step, because it just shows that maybe a female doesn't want to be, you know, coming through the sport, doesn't want to be a driver. They think, well, what else can I do? I know several people at college studying motorsport engineering now that are females, aiming to get into Formula One, which is great. And I know McLaren have recently chosen from Southampton University a female mechanic. So it just shows that there are more females coming in, and what Manisha has done is just shown that we can be at the top and do well.
You already mentioned her, of course, Danica Patrick. On pole for Daytona 500, a really good role model. You've already talked about her a little bit, but just how significant was that achievement, and how far can she go now?
Hugely. It was so important. I mean, I had lots of interest on Twitter from people saying, you know, this is great. I didn't know about Danica, and now I do. And is that what you're trying to aspire to be? And I said, yeah, I'm trying to get my name out there, and not only women in sport as well. The Women Sports Trust, which launches in May, is great for women in sport, whether it's motorsport or hockey or whatever. And I think what Danica did was show that we can compete up there, and show that even, you know, it's a very physical sport, that we can drive cars around very fast.
When you grew up, who did you look to and aspire to be? I don't just mean in motorsport, but women in general in sport.
Well, there was no females racing in Formula One. I mean, I took the interest when I was 3 years old, and I'm 20 now, and it was Michael Schumacher that was my hero when I was growing up. So I always aspired to be like Schumacher, and now I can't believe I'm here, fortunate to be racing, trying to get to Formula One.
Have you met Schumacher?
No, I haven't. Oh. I know. I've missed my chance,
really.
To
sort this out. Right. Looking at the barriers that you face, I don't mean on the track, I just mean barriers in general in terms of being a woman in sport. What problems have you come up against?
Well, obviously, you know, females aren't as strong as men, so you do need to train hard. I train at the Lotus F1 facilities in Enstone, and you know, I work very hard with my neck and my upper body as well. But also, apart from being a female, every driver struggles with sponsorship because it's such an expensive sport. My family isn't rich, unfortunately, so I need to try and go out and find the funding and you know do well for my sponsors so they continue to support me.
Brilliant. Well, let's hope that they do. And thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Alice.